From Kabristan to donkey, we've heard it all now in the UP election campaign, and the Congress today complained to the Election Commission about the Prime Minister's comments, saying that he was communalizing the campaign by talking about graveyards and cremation grounds, while Akhilesh Yadav took it a dig at the Prime Minister by taking a dig at Amitabh Bachchan for being brand ambassador for Gujarat.
गांव में अगर कब्रिस्तान बनता है तो गांव में स्मशान भी बनना चाहिए। अगर रमजान में बिजली मिलती है तो दिवाली में भी बिजली मिलनी चाहिए। अगर होली पे बिजली मिलती है तो ईद पर भी बिजली मिलनी चाहिए। भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए।
हम इस सदी के सबसे बड़े महानायक से निवेदन करेंगे कि अब आप गुजरात के गधों का प्रचार मत करिए। बताओ, कहीं गधों का भी प्रचार होता है क्या? गुजरात के लोग तो गुजरात के गधों का भी प्रचार करवा रहे हैं और हम पे आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि हमने कब्रिस्तान और केवल उनके लिए काम किया है। पता नहीं कौन खबर देते है प्रधानमंत्री जी को।
राजनीतिक आतंकवाद ये फैला रहे हैं। मैं उसको फिर दोहराता हूं, राजनीतिक आतंकवाद ये संविधान के खिलाफ है। संविधान के पदों पर बैठ करके कैसे लोगों को गुमराह कर सकते हैं?
Meanwhile, law and order has also become a big issue in this election. Today, Akhilesh campaigned for one of his senior leaders, Gayatri Prajapati, who's just had a rape FIR slapped against him, ordered by the Supreme Court. Interestingly, they did not share a stage.
खाओ गंगा मैया की कसम कि समाजवादी लोग 24 घंटे बिजली काशी में दे रहे हैं कि नहीं दे रहे हैं।
Akhilesh Yadav campaigning in Amethi for controversial Samajwadi Party leader Gayatri Prajapati, now a rape accused. Interestingly, Akhilesh did not share the stage with Prajapati, who in his speech literally cried conspiracy.
गायत्री प्रजापति का प्रचार करने गए हैं जिन पर देश की सर्वोच्च अदालत ने किसी बेटी के ऊपर अत्याचार के जुर्म में मुकदमा दायर कर दिया। वो गायत्री प्रजापति का प्रचार करने शर्म करो अखिलेश, शर्म करो।
On the 18th, the Supreme Court ordered the UP police to file an FIR against Prajapati in cases of alleged gang rape and attempt to rape a woman and her minor daughter. Speaking to NDTV, Prajapati dismissed it all as political vendetta.
नरेंद्र मोदी कह रहे हैं उन्होंने आपको गुंडाई का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बना दिया है। वो कह रहे हैं आपकी वजह से समाजवादी सरकार।
पूछिए कि उनके यहाँ जो है गुंडाई, जो भ्रष्टाचार में तो कर रहा हूँ, जितने गुंडे, जितने माफिया, जितने कतली, वो सब उनके यहाँ हैं। उनका प्रदेश अध्यक्ष 14 मुकदमे बकुला भगत है। उनका राष्ट्रीय प्रदेश अध्यक्ष खिलाफ कितने मुकदमे दर्ज हैं? 14। गायत्री प्रजापति खिलाफ क्या मुकदमे दर्ज है, ये बता दें।
In the audience, the reactions of young women were mixed. 23-year-old Gayatri Yadav and her friend Anita say the cases against Prajapati don't matter.
जो कैंडिडेट है एसपी का यहाँ से, उसके अगेंस्ट केस चल रहा है सेक्सुअल असॉल्ट का, पता है आपको?
उसके बारे में कब पता है?
ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि गुंडा राज चल रहा है समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार में, फिर आएंगे तो और
राज तो हम लोग करते हैं ना, वहाँ से तो हर एक चीज अच्छा होता है। अगर गलत आरोप है तभी तो बाहर है, अगर सही आरोप होता तो वो अंदर होते, हम लोग के बीच में ना होते। 5 सालों में उन्होंने स्टूडेंट के लिए बहुत काम किए हैं, जैसे कन्या विद्याधन दिए हैं और स्टूडेंट के लिए साइकिल दिए हैं और बहुत ढेर सारे ऐसे कार्य किए हैं।
खत्म है, कुछ नहीं,
उनके अगेंस्ट जो केस चल रहा है
तो जेल जाएंगे।
Ironically, right across the Women's College in Amethi, Akhilesh Yadav came here to say that Gayatri Prajapati is innocent until proven guilty. While the Yadavs who attended the rally seem to be convinced, the question is, will the remaining women of UP, women who are already questioning Samajwadi Party over the issue of law and order, believe him or not? With camera person Ashwini in Amethi, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor for NDTV.
Well, this is indeed what the discourse has been reduced to. We have Mr. GVL Rao of the BJP joining us tonight, Ajoy Kumar of the Congress Party. We have Rakesh Sinha of the RSS here in the studio with us, BSP leader Ritu Singh, and we'll be joined by Aarti Jairath and Juhi Singh of the SP in just a little while from now. But let me take this to you, Mr. Rao, first. We're halfway through the campaign, and let me first take on what the Prime Minister has said. The opposition has actually gone complaining to the Election Commission today, the Congress in particular, saying that they believed that this was the Prime Minister trying to communalize and divide in this campaign and to polarize. Now, I have a question, which is that even if the Prime Minister was trying to make a point that there shouldn't be discrimination between castes and religions and so on, did it have to be using, these words about graveyards and so on? Could there not have been a better way to put it?
No, Nidhi, I think this is the feedback that you get. You go to any part of Uttar Pradesh. I've returned only a couple of days ago, and every village has a story to tell you about this, because the kind of appeasement politics has been done so nakedly that people actually start feeling that they don't belong to this place. I think governance, there cannot be any, what is secularism? When we talk about secularism, India being a secular state, what does it mean? There shall be no discrimination on matters of the government, matters of governance on the basis of religion. And here you have a perverse form of communalism that has been practiced in Uttar Pradesh. So was the case when the Congress was in power at the center. And this is an issue that is really bothering people of Uttar Pradesh. They feel that we are being discriminated against. So when we raise that as an electoral issue, because it concerns governance, because public money is being used to build Qabristans, and land has been acquired from farmers. I have been told stories of this in number of villages myself. I can take anybody from the media there.
There was a point the Prime Minister also made about electricity, where he said that if there is electricity on Eid, there should also be electricity on Diwali. Now, obviously he was alluding to Muslim appeasement by the Samajwadi Party and the Congress, and that was very clear. But today, the All India Power Engineers Association has put out a statement. Okay, this is a statement of fact. They have said that on Eid last year, 13,500 megawatts of power was supplied, and on Diwali, it was 15,400 megawatts of power. So actually on Diwali, there was more power than on Eid.
No, I think you are possibly mentioning reverse numbers. I think I can show you a Amar Ujala report.
I am telling you the All India Power Engineers Association, sir, it's not. It's a first-hand source. This is a statement from them. No, this is not in reverse. No, I am showing you a statement. I am showing you a statement from Rural Electrification Corporation. A letter from the Chairman and Managing Director of Rural Electrification Corporation, Mr. Praveen Verma. He clearly says that in the electrification of villages, there has been discrimination on religious grounds while implementation of this rural electrification program. And I am reading out to you Shailendra Dubey's statement. He is the All India Power Engineers Association President, who has said there was 13,500 megawatts of power on Eid and 15,400 megawatts of power supplied on Diwali. But having said that, Mr. Rao, the point is, I thought the BJP's campaign was about Vikas and development. What is the Vikas and development in this? Because you've gone back to religion at this time of the campaign. Let me tell you, I don't know. You are referring to some association which has no locus standi as far as power distribution is concerned. I am talking about Rural Electrification Corporation of the Government of India, which is a public sector body under the Ministry of Power, which has an IAS officer as the Chairman and Managing Director, Ajay Kumar Mr. Rajiv. To come in on that. Okay. Mr. Rajiv. Ajay Kumar. No, let me finish. Let me just complete. 1 second, let me get everybody in. Let me get everybody in. I mean, the point is this what the election has been reduced to? Yes, Ajay. No, Nidhi, can I just finish one line? Nidhi, okay, one line. Sure, go ahead.
Nidhi, one sec.
Okay, you see, this is a part of development. Development has to be without bias. Development has to be without discrimination. Development has to be for all persons of Uttar Pradesh. You can discriminate for poor people. You can. Every government has a greater responsibility towards the poor. But you cannot say, I will, because it's a vote bank for me.
I just want to point out to you, Mr. Rao, that the All India Power Engineers Association is registered, under the Societies Act of 1860. And it represents all power engineers working in power utilities under the central and state government of India. So it's not some random group.
It's not a register. It's a random group.
It's not a random group, sir. These are state and central level engineers that are working together under one umbrella. Ajay Kumar.
Why can't the Ministry of Power put out the facts from the government of Uttar Pradesh?
Nidhi,
all right, Ajay Kumar.
Okay. Okay, Nidhi, first of all, the alternative facts put up by Mr. Rao, it's like, the fish normally starts rotting at the head, and that's what has been shown. Vikas is no more Vidyut, Kanun Sadak, it's Vinash, Qabristan, Shamshan Ghat. The Prime Minister has lost, one sec, let me complete. The Prime Minister has clearly lost the plot. His nervousness, Punjab, they are not scoring. He knows after 3 phases what is happening. So what has he decided down to? What he did in Bihar. Again back, and it is unfortunate that the senior most person in this country speaks this language. We understand the BJP's nervousness. Even look at the communal agenda.
Okay.
They didn't put up a candidate against Mukhtar Ansari, and then they are blaming the others. One sec, let me complete. The first, hey boss, Rao Saab, I didn't interrupt, so you please don't interrupt. Then you'll have your time. The second issue is, look at their manifesto. It has got religious announcements. The 10-point agenda by, Akhilesh and Rahul Gandhi had nothing to do with this at all. The question again very clearly is that the Prime Minister is nervous and he's gone back to his automatic mode of the BJP RSS combined. I want to ask Mr. Rao, in Bihar, when they made the communal agenda, was there a discrimination? Then wherever they go, the last important point, and I'll finish my point here, Nidhi, on the farmers issue. Mr. Modi goes as a, I'll finish with the farmers issue. Yes. Mr. Modi goes as a salesman and says that I will waive off your loan. They have not waived off the loan in Madhya Pradesh where there is a government. They have not made up the loan of the farmers in Chhattisgarh. They have not waived off the loan in Maharashtra. What kind of a Prime Minister? He continues to lie to these people, and that is what is really troubling. We request Mr. Rao, please stop this nonsense.
Okay, Mr. Rao wants to respond. All right, Ajay, let him respond.
You have not done it in Maharashtra. You have not done it in Chhattisgarh. You have not done it in Jharkhand.
Okay. Mr. Rao, I mean, again, I come back to the question that if the Prime Minister's mantra is development, why bring any debate around religious polarization into it? And then you use an example, you're talking about Qabristan and all of that. He is the Prime Minister of India. You expect perhaps a better level of discourse, certainly from him.
No, I think, Nidhi, unfortunately, the media in this country, some of you represented in your panel, have a very perverse understanding of secularism. Secularism means state shall not discriminate. How can a state? This is public money. Qabristans being made with public money. Electricity is a good that is being economic good supplied by the government. How can you discriminate? How can you discriminate on the basis of? How can you discriminate on the basis of? No, can I?
Please don't shout. Please, one of you speak at a time. Ajay, let him speak. Please.
No.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Data. Be responsible.
No,
Be data.
Well, I read out some data to Mr. Rao. He says it's random.
Don't give
Nidhi, this is not fair.
No. 1 second. Mr. Rao, finish your point. Then I'd like to go to
this is bitter truth.
Ajay, please.
It is bitter truth. It is bitter truth. And in blocks and blocks I have visited personally. Villages are picked for development which have a vote bank. Other villages are denied development. What do you call this?
That is also
this is communalized development.
So, okay, 1 second.
That's what they've done.
I just want to get Juhi Singh of the SP in that today Akhilesh also made a reference to gadhas and donkeys while attacking the Prime Minister in a roundabout way by making a dig at Amitabh Bachchan. Now, I personally like donkeys very much, and I feel very bad that they get maligned in this way. And I just want to ask the Juhi Singh that what is the discourse that it has come to? Why use this language at all? And there's another SP leader, a very senior leader, who's used some very coarse, abusive language about the Prime Minister today. Is that justified? I mean, why resort to that? It actually shows that every political party, including the SP, is very nervous.
Nidhi, we are not really nervous, and Mr. Rao has completely lost it. He is talking of an IS officer in the rural electrification department. So now they have not only communalized our lives, they have managed to communalize our deaths also by graveyards and other things. And electricity is also not a development agenda. They have this very serious and confidential report which has been generated by the BJP, which says that we are actually choosing villages which might be our our vote bank, according to Mr. Rao. We don't see it as such, because can he just prove it? We've given Samajwadi pension to 55 lakh women. The Supreme Court has given us an appreciation on that. So have we really chosen people out of that? These things are done on the basis of district magistrates' reports, who are from the same service as this Mr. Pawan, whosoever he is talking about. So don't communalize things in UP. The people of UP understand. And as for the dig by the Chief Minister, I think if the Prime Minister finds it very, very amusing, you know, he's got this very amusing discourse, a non-serious one. He comes on a public platform, calls people names, communalizes things, and even our festivals. He says now, I think he is not aware that we are already giving electricity to all religious places of Sikhs, Gurdwaras, Hindus, Muslims, even Sarnath. He can check it from Varanasi.
But the point, that doesn't, justify the level to which the debate has fallen, frankly, on all sides. And I just want to ask Professor Rakesh Sinha that, Rakesh Sinha ji, don't you think that the BJP, I mean, since you represent the RSS, would do just well to focus on development and, you know, focus on why not talk more about demonetization, since the, you know, centre believes that that's a huge success?
Nidhi, this is the same country where Jayaprakash Narayan was jailed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and JP continued to call her my daughter, Meri Beti. So we remember that discourse when the two adversaries are respecting each other. Here the situation has changed. The person calling Prime Minister a terrorist, this is most condemnable. But I am coming to this Prime Minister's discourse on Kabristan. Prime Minister basically reminded the Raj Dharma. Yes. You know, we for the last 3 generations under Nehruvian era, we have been groomed and indoctrinated in reverse secularism. There are 2 dimensions of reverse secularism. One, the minority appeasement, that is a secularism, and anti-Hindu narratives. Any anti-Hindu narratives become the secularism, and any pro-minority sentiment becomes the secularism. So the Prime Minister just reminded that there should not be any discrimination between Kabristan and Shamshan. And I am giving one example, Nidhi. Between Noida and Jasola, there is a land of 5-acre land. It has been allotted to Kabristan. The market price of that land is 2,500 crores. My question is that you can allot the land of 5,000 crores. But what about the Hindus? You go to any part of Uttar Pradesh, the majority community is suffering.
I think you know, the lesson in all of this is that in the long run, all of us are dead. Kindly let me, Juhi Singh ji, kindly let me complete. I have 2 and 3. I have just two quick points. One point is that, look, in all the states, including Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, I am giving one data. In Muradabad, 30 crore has been spent on Kabristan. In Lucknow, 21 crore. Varanasi, 8 crore. What about the Harishchandra Ghat? What about the Manikarnika Ghat? These 2 ghats are for the Hindus. It's astounding, actually, that we have this debate at all. Let me just get the BSP's Ritu Singh and then
in the name of the majority committee, you are discriminating Hindus.
Let me get the BSP's Ritu Singh and your mic, everybody else's mic is down right now. One second. Ritu Singh of the BSP, आप ये सुन रहे हैं कि आज हम कब्रिस्तान और शमशान घाट पे झगड़ा कर रहे हैं और यही अब इलेक्शन का मुद्दा बन गया है। बताइए।
आप देखिए, जो मोदी जी देश के प्रधानमंत्री जो जिन वादों के साथ आए थे, उन्होंने एक वादा भी नहीं निभाया। आज उन्होंने अपनी गरिमा को इतना गिरा लिया है कि वो शमशान घाट की बातें कर रहे हैं, कब्रिस्तान की बातें कर रहे हैं कि हिंदू को कब्रिस्तान में इतनी बिजली मिलनी चाहिए, मुस्लिम्स को मुस्लिम को मतलब दोनों को इतनी बिजली मिलनी चाहिए। क्या कहते, उनसे ये पूछा जाए कि उन्होंने कितने मुस्लिमों को वोट दिया, कितने लोगों को टिकट दिया है। एक भी जिन मुस्लिम, ये क्या कहते, आपने देखा अभी जो कोर्ट का मामला आया था कि मुस्लिम महिलाओं को न्याय मिलना चाहिए, लेकिन ये मुस्लिमों के लिए इन्होंने क्या किया? एक टिकट दी है किसी ने भी, बीजेपी ने। तो बीजेपी का जो चेहरा है, मुस्लिम दलित चेहरा, जो इनका डबल चेहरा दिखाई देता है कि मुस्लिम्स के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं और दलितों के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, ये मोदी जी के बयानों से पता होता। आजकल मोदी जी सिर्फ अपनी बात नहीं करते हैं कि हमने जो वादे किए थे वो हम कहाँ खड़े हैं, हमने क्या वादा निभाया है, लेकिन आज वो दूसरों पे दोष धर रहे हैं। कभी वो यूपी को बोल देते हैं कि मुझे गोद लिया है, कभी वो कहीं के बेटे बन जाते हैं। तो ये सब चीजें जो है ना, आज हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी को शोभा नहीं देता है कि वो ऐसे ऐसे मुद्दों पे वो विकास की बातें करते हैं। उन्होंने विकास क्या किया आप बताएं।
जब समाजवादी पार्टी के नेता प्रधानमंत्री के बारे में भी उनको ऐसे बोलते हैं कि वो आतंकवादी हैं, क्या वो शोभा देता है?
तो मैं आपको ये बता रही हूँ कि हमारे यहाँ जो राजनेता है, जो राजनीति में बड़े बड़े नेता हैं, प्रधानमंत्री, सब लोग मतलब उनकी राजनीति कैसी हो गई है, उनकी गरिमा कैसी, वो तो गिर चुके हैं। मतलब उनकी बातें आप देखिए किस तरह की वो बातें कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे पे सिर्फ कीचड़ उछाल रहे हैं, कोई विकास की बात ही कर ही नहीं रहा है।
So I want to ask Aarti then. Aarti, you've been traveling now in UP for some days. How is this playing out? I mean, this entire change in the campaign's tone in the last 48 hours, how is this playing out?
Nidhi, you know, it's so reminiscent of Bihar. It's really quite amazing, because if you remember in Bihar, after the third phase, when the BJP realized that it was losing ground rapidly, it started introducing this communalization, or, you know, this talk of religious polarization. Amit Shah, Narendra Modi, they brought up beef, they brought up firecrackers in Pakistan, and so on and so forth. So, you know, this seems to be much like that. I think the situation here is still very unclear, and it's a very tightly contested election. But I think that there is a degree of anxiety which is very visible in the BJP camp. There is a degree of anxiety that is very visible in the Samajwadi Party camp, and I think that is responsible for these kind of personalized attacks, for the, you know, for the attempt to polarize the electorate on religious lines. And instead of talking about issues that matter to people, if you talk about electricity, you could talk about giving electricity to schools, you could talk about giving electricity to homes, to hospitals. These are the issues that worry people, instead of talking about the dead. You know, much better to talk about people who are alive and what you can do for them.
A lot of people, you know, have pointed out that when the Prime Minister spoke, that perhaps not what he said in entirety was quoted, that he did talk about, you know, if there is electricity on Holi, there should be electricity on Eid as well. Now, many people are using that example to say that he was trying to make a bigger point, that there has to be no discrimination, and you know, every community and religion should be treated equally and respectfully. Now, do you agree with that, or do you think that this was Mr. Modi, you know, winking and nudging, you know, towards that kind of divisive campaign that other party leaders are now normally known for?
No, Nidhi, listen, I think there is no doubt that every religion should be treated equally. I mean, that is part of the constitution, right? But the point is that in a campaign like this, why bring religion in? We should be talking about issues that are close to people's hearts.